I had spent years believing Olivia was my ride or die, my sister in everything but blood. We had been inseparable since childhood, finishing each other's sentences, sharing secrets that no one else knew, and promising that nothing, no man, no fight, no distance, would ever come between us. I trusted her with everything. My dreams, my fears, my future. And my fiancé, Jake. Jake was the man I had envisioned forever with. The man I had spent 4 years building a life with, picking out wedding venues, dreaming about a family, and planning for our happily ever after. And Olivia? She was my maid of honor, the one who swore to stand by my side as I walked down the aisle. But life has a sick sense of humor. It started with small things, missed calls, late-night work meetings, inside jokes between them that I wasn't part of. At first, I brushed it off. Olivia was my best friend, and Jake was my soulmate. There was no way they would betray me. Right? Then came the text message. A single, damning message that wasn't meant for me. It popped up on Jake's phone while he was in the shower. Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about you. I wish she wasn't in the way. My stomach turned to ice. My fingers trembled as I stared at the words, my mind screaming that there had to be an explanation. A mistake. A misunderstanding. But deep down, I already knew. With my heart pounding in my chest, I did what any woman in my position would do, I investigated. I scrolled through Jake's phone, searching for more, and I found it. Weeks. Months. A hidden folder of pictures. Hotel reservations. Secret weekend getaways. And the worst part? Olivia's name over and over again, tied to every lie he had told me. I felt my world crumble in an instant. The person I trusted most had become my worst nightmare. The betrayal cut so deep I could hardly breathe. But I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't storm into the bathroom and confront Jake like I wanted to. No. I was smarter than that. I wasn't just going to expose them. I was going to ruin them. Olivia and I met when we were 8 years old, two inseparable girls who built a friendship on pinky promises and whispered secrets. We survived school together, first crushes, heartbreaks, and late-night sleepovers filled with laughter. She was the sister I never had. And when I met Jake in college, she was the first person I introduced him to. She had smiled that day, the same way she always did, acting like my happiness was hers, too. Looking back, I wonder if she had already set her sights on him back then. If she had watched our love story unfold, waiting for the perfect moment to sink her claws in. Jake and I had the perfect relationship, or so I thought. He was charming, successful, and attentive. We had been together for 4 years, and I had never once questioned his loyalty. We planned our future in stolen whispers at night, discussing where we would buy our first home, how many kids we'd have, and even what we'd name our golden retriever. Olivia was a part of all of it. She helped me pick out my wedding dress. She stood beside me during cake tastings. She even held my hand and cried happy tears when Jake proposed to me in front of our closest friends. If I had known then what I know now, I would have slapped that smile off her face. The signs were all there, but I was too blind to see them. The way Jake's phone would always be on silent when Olivia was around. The way they exchanged glances that I chalked up to being like siblings. The way she always insisted on helping him plan surprises for me, weekend trips, date nights, little gifts. I had trusted her completely. That trust shattered the moment I read that message. For days, I went through the motions, pretending nothing was wrong, while inside, my rage grew like a storm waiting to break. I wasn't just heartbroken, I was furious. Betrayal had a way of turning pain into something sharper, something more dangerous. And then I found my opportunity. Olivia had always been obsessed with status. She grew up in a modest home, but her mother had married a wealthy man when she was a teenager, a man who, despite divorcing her mother years ago, still held a soft spot for Olivia. His name was Richard, and he was rich, powerful, and lonely. And I knew exactly how to use that to my advantage. If Olivia wanted to take something that was mine, I would take something she could never get back. And it all started with a single, carefully planned move. For days, I played the part of the oblivious fiancé and best friend. I smiled when Olivia came over. I kissed Jake goodnight. I even let Olivia ramble about wedding details, as if she wasn't stabbing me in the back every chance she got. But beneath my calm exterior, I was carefully piecing together my revenge. Step 1. Confirm the betrayal beyond doubt. The text message had been my first clue, but I needed undeniable proof. So, I did something I never thought I would do. I planted a recording device in Jake's car. A tiny, discreet voice recorder tucked under his seat, set to activate whenever he spoke. If they were meeting in secret, his car was a likely place for conversations. And I was right. 2 days later, I sat in my bedroom, listening to Olivia's voice through my headphones. She has no idea, Jake. It's kind of thrilling, sneaking around like this. My stomach churned as I listened to him chuckle in response. I know. But after the wedding, I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. It's going to be complicated. I clenched my fists. After the wedding? He was still planning to marry me? Keep me as his respectable, loyal wife while Olivia remained his dirty little secret? Oh, they had no idea what was coming. Step 2. Confronting Jake in a way he'd never expect. I waited until a Friday night, when I knew he'd be working late. Instead of staying home, I went to his office. My heart pounded as I walked through the building, the voice recording still fresh in my mind. Sure enough, his office lights were dimmed, the door slightly ajar. And inside? Jake and Olivia, tangled in each other, their whispers filling the space. I stepped in, clearing my throat. They jumped apart, eyes wide, panic flashing across their faces. Don't stop on my account, I said coolly, crossing my arms. I mean, really. I'd hate to interrupt such a thrilling affair. Jake stammered. Olivia turned pale. I saw it then, that flicker of realization in her eyes. She knew she had been caught. You don't understand, Jake began, stepping toward me. I held up my hand. No, you don't understand. I know everything. The texts. The secret meetups. The burner phone you thought you hid so well. I let the words sink in, watching them squirm. And now? Now, I get to decide how this ends. Step 3, the final move, Olivia's ultimate punishment. I didn't break down. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Instead, I let them believe I was simply walking away. That was their first mistake. While they were busy trying to cover their tracks and avoid the inevitable fallout, I was already setting my real plan into motion. Because while Olivia was busy sleeping with my fiancé, I had been charming her ex-stepfather. Richard was in his late 40s, wealthy, and very, very single. He had always been fond of me, treating me like a daughter whenever Olivia brought me around years ago. But now? Now, he saw me as something more. And I made sure to fuel that interest. It started with casual conversations, friendly dinners, and a shoulder to lean on. Then, it escalated, deliberate touches, lingering eye contact, and a deep, undeniable chemistry that neither of us could ignore. And soon enough, Richard was completely, hopelessly mine. Olivia had no idea what was coming. A few months after my breakup with Jake, I sent Olivia a single text, "You took something that was mine. Now, I've taken something that was yours." She was confused at first. Then she saw the engagement announcement. Richard and I were getting married. Olivia lost her mind. She showed up at my apartment, screaming, demanding answers. "How could you?" she shrieked, her voice trembling. I just smiled. "How could you?" I countered. "Oh, that's right, you could. And so could I." The look on her face was priceless. "You don't love him," she spat. I tilted my head. "Neither did you. But you sure loved the money he gave your mom. Guess what? Now, it's all mine." I watched as reality sank in. Not only had she lost her affair, but she had lost any future claim to Richard's wealth, too. I had taken the one thing she never thought I could touch. And just like that, the student had become the master. Jake? He was old news. Olivia? She was ruined. And me? I walked away, victorious.